Hello, gorgeous souls. How are we today? So, it is podcast episode 11. So, if and when you are jumping on the live with me on Facebook today, please do say hello. Drop me your favourite emoji in the comments. If and when you're catching the replay, then hashtag replay. If you are catching me over on the podcast replay, then if you can leave a review, a comment or something like that, or hit the subscribe button, that would be amazeballs. And then if you're listening to this or watching this over on YouTube, if you want to share any comments in the description box, comment box, whatever, then drop it in there, let me know. And if you've got any questions or things you want to reach out, then you can email me at hello@louiseblood.co.uk, and you can also reach out to me via DM on social. So I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. So if you're not following me over on those platforms yet, then make sure you head over and follow me on there, because that's where I am most active. So it sounds a little bit echoey in here. What do we think? It's feeling echoey. It might not be for you guys because I've got this little fluffy mic going on, so hopefully not, but it just sounds a bit echoey. I'm in my new office and I want to get some pictures and some things up just to fill and make it vibes. The one thing I have got in here, just up there, is a picture of my granddad, who we lost in January. So Grandad is always with us, so he is here in spirit today. Anyway, I digress. So episode 11 today is I want to talk about how I manifested a £2,222 paying client while crying on a Facebook Live. And then in brackets it says how perfectionism is costing you money in your business. Now, I've purposely gone live today, and I'll be sharing this video, so if you're listening you can watch on YouTube with me with just my workout gear on. I haven't done a workout yet, just to say. I have walked the dog with no makeup on, hair not really done. Last week I had a masterclass for 3 days, and in the masterclass I was all hair done, makeup done, outfit vibes, all the things. And today I've had a day where I'm at home. It's the first day back at work after the bank holiday. It's podcast day. And I always sort of sit and think, what is it that I want to share today? What stories do I want to share? And this is the story that I felt called to share, because when we're making moves and when we want to make more of anything, and in business, if we want to create and attract more clients, we want to make more money in our business, we have to get over perfectionism. We have to get over things being like just right. We have to get over the fact that we need to know every single detail of everything that we're going to do or launch. Because what I found when I first started my business is I spent a lot of time in my head thinking about what I could do and less time actually just going for it. And this is the thing about regulating your nervous system and working on your identity. Like at the same time of growing your business, is that your identity shifts and changes as the business grows. Now, with me manifesting this client, I was delivering a Facebook Live. It was quite a few years ago, and I was sharing a story. And I was very emotional sharing the story. If I can think back, I think it was the month that we actually lost our dog, Tiny. So I had a Rottweiler called Tiny for 10 years, and he was very much part of my business because when I used to do I did a Facebook Live challenge where I went live on Facebook for 365 days. He would often be in the background of my lives, or he would just appear and a big nose would appear. So he was very much part of my lives. So when unfortunately he passed away, and he was old, he was 10, it was while I was doing my Facebook Live challenge. And it meant that I shared the fact that we'd lost him that day, or the following day, I can't remember which day it was. And I was really upset. And I feel like when I had the conversation and I was talking, it was about like processing emotions. I was just sharing what had happened. Me crying on the live may not have been the exact day or that time, but I know that it was in that month. It was in the March. And I want to share how I actually manifested a client dropping me a message and inboxing me while I was on the live, while I was crying, while I was a mess. I had no makeup on. And she said, I want to work one-to-one with you, and my one-to-one at the time was £2,222 for 3 months of coaching. And she just popped into my inbox while I was on the live and just said, I want to do it, I'm in. And after the live, I obviously just had a chat with her, and she was in. We worked together for 3 months. And I want to share how that actually happened, because she didn't just drop out of the sky. Like, I love to say that things fall out of the sky, because they do. However, the way that we manifest things in alignment with our identity and who we believe we are and what we believe we're capable of. For me in that moment, I had made a decision, let me think, 10 months before I'd made a decision. And 10 months before that client dropped into my world, and I'd manifested clients prior to that, you know, through my social media. I was making thousands a month at this time anyway. And I think this was the month that I hit 5K in my business, was when this client also came through, because I'd had, you know, one client after the other at the beginning of that year, just coming in as one-to-one clients. And like I said, the package was 2,222. And when this particular client just said, I'm here, I'm in, then that was what then rocketed us to 5K a month. And it was the decision that I'd made 10 months before. And in fact, before that, I'd made a decision 5 months before that. So if we add that together, that's 15 months before I'd made a decision. And I'd made a decision that I was all in on me, and I was all in on my business, no matter what. And it's that level of decision and commitment energetically that opens up opportunities. And for me, all those months down the line, like the 10 months before, was me deciding that I was going to do a Facebook Live challenge for 365 days, because I wanted to step outside of my comfort zone. I wanted to build trust. I wanted to build authority on my profile. So that's what I did. And like I said, 10 months later, this person had been in my world for quite some time, and she'd been following my journey, and I'd built that trust, I'd built that authority, and I was sharing obviously what I was doing in my business. And at the time, I wasn't actually promoting my one-to-one offer on the live. I was sharing how I was processing something difficult in that moment. And while I was sharing my emotions at that time, I got emotional. Something that frightens us as humans is showing up imperfectly, especially in our business. We want it to look and be professional, and it can be, and it is. However, for human-to-human connection, and in the industry that I'm in, coaching, me not sharing like authentically, like emotional processing, emotional regulation, self-leadership, self-confidence, authenticity, truth, me not modelling that, and that they are some of my core values, for me that was out of alignment. So for me to come and show myself on my social media, to share whatever story I was sharing at the time, and for me to share exactly what was going on, and me getting upset about that. I mean, I really don't like crying on these lives, and I don't do it on purpose, believe me, because my face screws up, it's not pretty, but it's real. And it was in those moments that I got the message. So this is the thing about manifesting what it is that you want, and also about creating the identity and having the emotional regulation and capacity to hold what it is that we really want. Because, like I said, it was a chain of events that had happened over time that led to that specific person investing in me as their coach. So the thing is, if you spend a lot of time in your head thinking about things rather than doing the action or doing the things that you know are going to lead you in the direction of what you want. So in your business, that could be going live, creating a video, it could be doing a reel, it could be creating a post, it could be being consistent with a strategy that you've chosen, it could be selling every day. Like, what is the action that you are avoiding, and what is the action that you are thinking about, but you also know is the thing that is going to lead you to what it is that you want? And the work that I do is like really helping you to step into and embody that identity of the future version of you now. And more importantly, it's helping your nervous system to regulate and to create safety in that version of you. Because the thing is, when it's unknown, it doesn't feel safe. So when we say that we want something that we've never had before, our body doesn't know how that feels. And so as we start to move towards it, it doesn't feel familiar, and therefore it doesn't feel safe. And the emotional regulation work that I do with my clients is, the manifesting part is the easy part. It's actually being able to energetically expand and create new normals for ourselves. This is how we grow and we expand. So in terms of perfectionism in your business, where are you thinking to yourself, I can't post this yet because it's not quite right. I can't share this offer yet because I don't know all the details. I can't post that reel because it's not good enough. I can't put the post out there because it's not quite right yet. Where are you overthinking? Where are you people pleasing? Where are you stop starting? There's a point that you will get to where you start to make some progress and then something comes up for you, usually in here. It could be fear of visibility. It could be fear of being seen. It could be fear of looking stupid. It could be like that it's not good enough, it's not perfect. And I am a recovering perfectionist. I love like the little details of things are what I absolutely love. So like if I'm creating something, I go into all the details. However, when I have a time scale of this thing is getting launched today, tomorrow, next week, whenever I've chosen that something's happened, I'll set myself a certain amount of time to like full that task. And it has to be right, well, I've allocated the time, the task's been done, it goes out. It goes out, like doing this podcast today. I thought, I'm going to come on here and I'm just going to do the podcast without getting dressed up, without any makeup, without doing my hair, because I don't need to. So in your business, where are you holding yourself back? Where are you hiding? Where are you avoiding? Where are you stalling? Because it's like when you're in that moment of this is the time, this is not about you going all in and then like creating something like massive and then going all the way back and then going all the way in and then going all the way back. And for me, in terms of expansion and growth, I don't like to do it where it's like we're either all in here or we're nothing, or we're all in here or we're nothing, or we're going all in on this and then we're not here and then we're all of this and then we're not, because it's too much for the nervous system to hold. I very much talk about the story of the tortoise and the hare, of, you know, the tortoise and the hare do exactly the same journey and they get to the same destination. And one of the powerful things that I'll share, especially with my private mentorship clients, these can be women who are making, 6, sometimes 7 figures in their businesses. And they come to me feeling either stuck, they come to me feeling frustrated, they are burnt out. They're just like, I don't know what else to do. I'm all over the place. And one of the first things I'll say is, tell me, what is it you're actually doing right now? And they'll say, I'm doing this, 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 I've got this, I've done this and this and this. And I want to go to this next level, but I have not got anything in me to implement this. I've got no energy left. And the first thing I will tell them to do is nothing. This is the first thing that they have to do, is nothing. And the relief, the sigh of relief of, what? And I'll say to them, we actually need to take things off your to-do list and off your plate. And we'll either delegate where we can, or if we can't, we're going to look at what actually isn't required and we're going to take things off. And we're going to allow and create space for your nervous system to regulate. Because the thing is, once your nervous system is regulated, you can do all the things required. When you are in that place of, not regulated, and you are feeling like a nervous energy, you are feeling burnt out, you've got no energy, you're tired, and you've got all these things to do. This is when they then, all those tasks in your business feel like an absolute ball ache. And it feels like too much to be able to hold all the moving pieces and all the moving parts all the time. And yet you feel a slave to the business. So we have to go into, whereabouts are you at right now? What is going on for you? How are you thinking? How are you feeling? Your nervous system is spanked. It needs some rest. And what always brings these clients back into alignment is self-care and regulation and prioritizing themselves first. And if you are in a phase where you are either rebuilding your business, or you are in that position where you're building it and it feels like pressure, it feels difficult, it feels hard, you're feeling burnt out and tired all the time, then I encourage you to look at an offer that I've got on this month. It's called the Regulated CEO. I'll drop the link in the bio, in the description of this podcast. We begin in a few weeks' time. So we actually begin on the 15th of April, but the doors are open until the week after. There's only 6 places available on that experience with me, but that is specifically for you. If you are rebuilding, or you want to build from alignment and flow and not from pressure and pushing and panic, the shift starts with you first, and how you think, how you feel about yourself, about what you actually have to do, the commitments that you have. It's all an internal rearrange and shift first. Got to let you breathe. We've got to release the shame. We've got to release that energy that your body's holding on to, that's keeping you holding. We've got to release that and create flow again in the energy system. So I wrote a few notes for today's session. And what got me from, making that decision of I'm going to go all in, and things being a little bit frantic in the beginning, to then obviously continuing with a whole year of doing my Facebook Lives and them getting easier, is I was just myself. I stopped trying to prove anything to anyone else, and I stopped trying to please other people. I stopped trying to create content where I thought, what's going to sound good? What's going to look good? In terms of offers, what offers would people really want me to do? I stopped doing that, and I started looking at my own journey, and I started to create things where I thought, this is what's served me, this is what's helped me, and this is what can help and serve other people. So therefore, if I go out there and I create this, because it's in alignment with who I am and my experience and my embodiment, it means that other people can learn this, can be this, can embody this, and it will change their lives. And that's how I then started to run my business. I created safety in myself. And when we create safety in ourselves, that means that when we go to do something, like do this Facebook Live, create the podcast, launch the offer, sell to our audience, get more visible, whatever it is it feels normal. It feels natural. In the beginning, it can feel a little bit unsettling, and that's okay. That's expanding our capacity, but it doesn't feel absolutely terrifying. It's a gentle step in the right direction, and I created that safety for myself by repetition. I created evidence of safety by doing the thing again and again and again and again. So sometimes the actions that are required in your business that feel really scary, it's looking at what those things are, looking at the beliefs underneath them, and the story that you're telling yourself, that it's either not safe, you're not safe to be seen, it's not safe to be visible, I don't deserve the money. All of these things, and this is what we're going to be looking at inside the Regulated CEO. I'm going to be changing those into beliefs that serve you and create safety in that next level identity, you. Because when you feel safe to be yourself, you will show up. When you work on your foundations, both your foundations here and your foundations around you, you will feel safe to be yourself and to show up. And then it doesn't become a question of, can I be consistent? It becomes a question of, I have these commitments, these are in alignment with what it is that I want, and therefore, because it's in like what I desire and what I want, I'm going to honor those commitments. And as you honor those commitments, you build trust in yourself. You build confidence. Confidence isn't about being the loudest person on the internet. It's not about putting on a performance or a show. If you are doing things from a point of performance, that's where it gets tiring. That's where it can feel like you are trying to hold something that you're not. You showing up as you is the easiest thing you could ever do. Yet, it's the thing that people find the hardest thing to do, is just being themselves. Because they're like, what if I'm myself and I get rejected? Whereas if I put a performance on and I get rejected, then that's different because it's not actually me. Whereas if you are you speak your truth, you are open, you are vulnerable, that exposes you and exposes part of your heart. You can get emotional, like I said, I'm literally snot crying on the live. And I got paid over £2,000. Like I said, there was a lead up for that. But it didn't just happen from me going live once. It happened from me being myself, creating safety and trust by doing the thing repetitively over and over again until it became normal, and building trust. And this is what we do. This is how we regulate the nervous system, is creating safety in the body, building trust, creating new normals through action, aligned action, not just any action, aligned action. So in terms of like, if you find it hard to manifest money or create results in your business, you don't have a money or a strategy problem. If you know what you're doing, you don't. If you're just starting your business, you're brand new, you're going to have to learn a few things about selling, about marketing, about social media, about websites, about things. You're just going to have to. However, if you've been in this game for a little while, money and strategy isn't a problem, because I can guarantee you have taken a gajillion courses on strategy, and I can bet your bottom dollar that you have also done money programs over the many years of you being in business. So you've got a good understanding about money, you know, you've manifested money, you do the money work, you're doing all of that. Your nervous system doesn't feel safe holding more than you currently have. Or it has experienced something in the past that is now causing you to like avoid or block or resist or hold yourself here where you are right now, which is where you don't want to be, because it doesn't feel safe moving into that identity. I experienced this myself, and it's something that I talk to my clients about inside of my coaching experience immersion, because I have a Telegram group in there where, you know, I will come in and talk about the things that I'm working on, that I'm working with, that I'm working through, very much like on my Facebook Live series. And, you know, this has been part of my experience moving into like a new relationship with someone last year. I didn't feel ready for that relationship. I didn't feel safe moving into another relationship, and that was based on past relationships. And so the work for me wasn't like manifesting a relationship, because I wasn't looking to manifest a relationship at the time. The work for me was the universe literally handed someone to me and said, this is your person. This is ultimately what you want. And my nervous system literally freaked out for about 6 months. And it took creating evidence through action for those 6 months for me to start to create a new normal for myself, and for me to feel safe, for me to be myself, and for me to build trust, not just with me, but with the other person. So this work doesn't just work for you in business, it works in all areas of your life, in your relationship, in who you are, in your parenting if you're a parent, you know, with friends, with people, in business. And it's something, like I said, that has changed like my life and my experience. And from stepping back into business after a brief period away, I shared on my social medias today like a story of like how a couple of years ago I stepped, well, it's probably about 3 years ago, maybe even 4, I don't know, but 3 or 4 years ago, like moving away from business because emotionally I was really going through it. And then the decisions that I've had to make and the shifts that I've had to make, both internally and externally, that have led to now me being in the strongest position I've ever been in, both in life and in business. And it's this that I want to really share with the women that join me inside of the Regulated CEO. You know, we're not just going for an all or nothing, we're stepping into and embodying the identity of the woman who holds it all, who has it all. And it doesn't feel unnatural, it doesn't feel unstable. It feels safe, it feels good, it feels relaxed, it feels normal. You know, there is effort required, but ultimately we're looking at creating a new normal for you. So when it comes to you leading in your business, it's coming from the energy of freedom and stability, not from pressure and stress. So, you aligning with the version of you that makes shit happen. She is built now, not through pressure, but through regulation. And she's also built through imperfect action. So being imperfect is perfect. Also through self-trust. So like I said, you know, moving in the direction of what it is that you want, into the unknown, creating safety there, building trust. That is what builds real confidence. And also through self-leadership as well. All the things I'm absolutely obsessed with. So I want to share with you that I ran a masterclass last week and it was called The Identity Gap. And this was for women who feel like they're in that gap right now of, you know, I know I need to move into this version of me, but I'm over here somewhere and it feels like too much of a gap. It's uncomfortable. I find it difficult. I delivered this masterclass and it was a 3-day masterclass. And it's now available for you to purchase for £44 to access straight away. It's 3 full days. You get not full days, but it's over. I ran it over 3 days. The sessions were about an hour long each. There's a workbook that accompanies the masterclass, and the workbook has all the prompts inside, all the questions, and also some really powerful affirmations, and also nervous system regulation processes for you to be able to do over the next 30 days that will shift your identity. It will shift how you see yourself. It will shift how you feel about yourself, and it will completely change how you show up in your life and in your business. So if you want more details about the Identity Gap Masterclass, then I will drop the link below. The link for the Identity Gap Masterclass is also in my bio over on Instagram and on Facebook. So you can access the masterclass through my membership that's called Self-Led, my coaching membership. So if you go to the Identity Gap link, it will then link you up to where you need to go to access the masterclass. Also inside of Self-Led, which is my coaching membership, you also get access to all my other masterclasses that I've run on like reclaiming your power, on manifestation, on like overcoming procrastination and self-sabotage, all of those things required for you to be your best self and therefore create your best life. So I'll link up the Identity Gap, I'll link up Self-Led for you if you want to move through into that and you want to sort of, you've listened to this and you just think, I want to deepen this work, this experience. With Self-Led, with my membership, you don't have to come in forever. Like you can stay for a month or you can stay longer. It's completely up to you. It's completely flexible. There's no time with that offer. And then with the Regulated CEO, we begin that 6-week experience on the 15th of April. Doors will be open until whatever, 7 days after that, to the 22nd of April. So you're welcome to join us up until the 22nd. There's only 6 spots open for that experience because it's a beta round. So it is on beta pricing at the moment. I have got payment plans available and I'll drop the link for that also in the show notes. But I will also, it's on my Instagram bio in the link, and it's also on Facebook in the link, and I'll be talking about it for the next few weeks as well. So if you've got any questions, just reach out to me, let me know. And also from this podcast as well, if you've got any comments, any questions that you want to ask me, then just reach out to me and let me know. I am here and I love to hear from you. So don't be quiet, don't be shy, don't be a stranger. Come in the DMs, come and tell me, come and ask questions, because if you ask me questions, I create content on it. I don't just sit on the things that you ask me or the comments that you make. I love to create content in response to what it is that you feel that you either need, that you want, that you're looking for, like whatever it is, manifestation, identity work, leadership. Come share the things. So that's me all sorted. So sending you lots and lots of love. Thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed on the platforms, go subscribe, do the things. But the main thing is wishing you the most amazing rest of your day. If you're feeling a little bit lost, if you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling stuck, then make sure you follow this podcast. This is completely free for you to plug into and listen to every single week. And if you feel like you're ready to really step into and start doing the work, self-led is your first step. And then beyond that, I have deeper offers depending on whereabouts you are and what level of support that you're looking for in your life and business. And I invite you to explore those. Again, the links are on my bio on Instagram and on Facebook. So thank you for being here. Have an awesome day, and I will see you next week. Bye.